is a general term because we're literally tapping on endpoints of meridians of our body. We're tapping on these points while saying certain statements, while focusing on the stress, the challenge, whatever's going on in our lives.
It's this beautiful, kind of elegant interplay between energy and psychology. First of all, I was very impressed with the research. The fact that cortisol levels fall very significantly with the tapping.
Tapping is one of the most directed and powerful ways to peel those layers away of chronic stress.
EFT, I don't know where I would be. I don't know what I would do.
EFT it saved my life. There's no doubt.
As part of a claim to the possibility of healing. You don't have to believe it. Just tap with me anyway.
Once you experience it, then you know that it's working.
I don't know what more incentive you need than that.
So what exactly is tapping all about? Emotional freedom technique, or EFT, is a clinically proven form of emotional acupuncture without needles, used by therapists, psychologists, and millions worldwide to ease emotional distress and clear negative emotions, beliefs, and memories. It's setting a new tone for how we manage stress in the modern world. So, emotional freedom technique, EFT. And so 5 ways to tap into confident kids using EFT. So there's the tap and talk technique, and you can pause this at any time so that you can read it, take a screenshot of it if you need, do whatever you need to do so you can draw back to this if you need to later on. So you can talk and tap, you can do specific events. And this is kind of where a lot of the tapping lives, is when you're dealing with trauma or stress around an event or a situation. There's also specific emotion tapping, so you're feeling angry, you're feeling sad. There's tapping for sleep to help your children or to help you as a student settle yourself down, or help settle brothers and sisters down to help them sleep more deeply. And then self-work. This is more for the older kids as they grow and develop and become their own person. So I will link this website and everything that it offers below. So it's thebiglifejournal.com. So we're going to walk through the EFT positions. So, karate chop position is the side of your hand. Crown position is the top of your head. Eyebrow position, which is right at the base of where your eyebrows come together. Side of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth or under the lip, and the little crevasse of your chin, collarbone, and then side or under the arm. Okay, turn sideways really quick for me. So it's the side. Okay, not in your armpit, but the side. Okay, turn back front. Point. There you go, right there. Yep. And then you can do the X position like she was doing before. Yep. And then you can switch it to tap the other side. Yep.
Okay,
So now, how do we do the basic recipe? So the way you do the basic recipe is the first step is you come up with a phrase that describes the negative emotion you're having, the negative experience you're having. And what I would recommend for a beginner is to come up with a phrase that includes an emotion and the thing that you're having the emotion about. So you might be angry at a friend for saying something, that they shouldn't have said to another friend, or you might be scared about a test you're taking. So you're going to come up with what's called the problem phrase or reminder phrase. You're going to come up with a short descriptive phrase, and we'll use as an example, afraid of taking the test tomorrow. Okay. So we have our phrase. The next step is to measure on a scale of 0 to 10 how strong the emotion is. So let's say I'm very scared about this test that's coming tomorrow. So I'm going to say it's maybe an 8 out of 10. So the intensity level is at 8. Okay, so now I'm ready to start the tapping process. It's helpful to have to track the intensity by giving a number like that, so we can track our progress as we're doing the tapping process. Okay. So now, the first step we do in the actual tapping is we do what's called the setup affirmation. The setup affirmation consists of the form, even though problem phrase, I deeply and profoundly accept myself. So in this case, it would be, even though I'm afraid about the test tomorrow, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Okay? And we're going to say that phrase 3 times while tapping on the cryogel point. So I say, even though I'm really scared about the test tomorrow, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. So you want to actually put a lot of energy into the second half. Even though I'm really afraid about that test tomorrow, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. So now once we've said that 3 times, we're now going to repeat just the problem phrase by itself, or the reminder phrase by itself, while tapping on each of the 10 points. Now, EFT, like I said, works by focusing on the negative experience you're having while tapping. And it's really important that you stay focused on it and not get distracted and think about other things. That's why we call this the reminder phrase. It's going to help us stay focused on the problem. So what you do is I would tap on the top of my head and say, scared about the test tomorrow. Now the number of times I tap is just however many taps I get in while saying the phrase. You don't actually need very many taps. 4 or 5 taps is sufficient. But I'm not going to bother counting. I'm just going to say the phrase while tapping, and that'll be sufficient. So then I'll just say it again. This next point, afraid of taking the test tomorrow, afraid about 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 taking the test tomorrow. And I go through all 10 points. Okay, so that'd be 1 pass through the 10 points. Then I'd repeat that again and do a second pass through the 10 points again, saying the phrase, afraid about taking the test tomorrow, afraid about taking the test tomorrow. Do a second pass through all the points. Okay. So once I've done the setup affirmation and 2 passes through the 10 points, that is the EFT basic recipe. I like to finish the EFT basic recipe by taking a deep breath. And then what you do next is to reassess how intense the emotion is. So I'll think about taking the test tomorrow, and I'll go, still fairly strong, but not as strong. It's now a 6 out of 10. So it's come down 2 points. Now that's actually would be a typical result if EFT is working well for you. That the intensity of whatever you're tapping on will come down by about 2 points per basic recipe. Okay. So at that point, we would just start over and do another EFT basic recipe, starting from the beginning. Even though I'm scared about taking the test tomorrow, I deeply, profoundly love and accept myself. And we say that phrase 3 times. Now, if you did have an experience where the number came down, we can modify the wording a little bit, and this is optional, where you can modify the wording in a way that acknowledges the progress that's been made. And the way you would do that is by saying, even though I still have some, that's the preface, even though I still have some fear about taking the test tomorrow, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. Even though I still have some fear about taking the test tomorrow, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. So we do that 3 times. And then when we tap through the points, I'm going to modify a little bit by just saying remaining in the problem phrase. So remaining fear about taking the test tomorrow. Remaining fear about taking the test tomorrow. Remaining fear about taking the test tomorrow. And I make 2 passes saying it that way. Take a deep breath. reassess, and now I notice that's a 4. It came down 2 points. Do another basic EFT basic recipe. It's now 2. Do another one, and now it's 0. And then it can be as simple as that. And then you'll notice that there's no more fear, and you feel nice and calm about taking the test tomorrow. So, this is the EFT basic recipe.
Okay, karate chop position. Even though I am anxious about being at school, I deeply love myself. All this anxiety, all this stress makes me nervous, makes my stomach hurt, makes me scared. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel smart enough. All this anxiety, all this stress. Okay, so then you go back to the karate chop. And it starts with, even though I still have anxiety about being at school, I deeply love myself. I am smart enough. I am good enough. I am good enough. I am amazing. I am beautiful and handsome. I am confident. Strong. Loved. I choose to be confident in myself. I am deeply loved. I love myself.